Okay, in this video I am going to demonstrate how to create a bulleted list of items, a list with individual bullet points to for instructional purposes. There's a lot of times when you're going to need to create a list that has bullet points, and there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. And InDesign has great features to make this easy, especially when you're dealing with lots of different lists that you have to format. So without further ado, let me share my screen and just kind of show you an example of a list of a list that has bullet points, and it'll be in the assignment that you're going to be doing for this class. Okay, I discussed this page the other day and kind of showed you an example of what we're doing. And basically, this is a recipe, and just going to go over here and zoom in to this list. And you'll see here that we have a list of instructions and they have bullet points in front, but you'll notice that the bullet points hang out of the margin or of the main column. And these are called hanging indents, where we have numbers or bullet points that hang outside so that we create a nice, clean alignment of text. And you can see how it goes down. Now on this side over here, we don't have the bullet points, but under the instructions, you're going to have bullet points. Okay, so let me back out of that. And in your assignment, I have given you a PDF file that is going to say Gelson's copy. And that is going to represent the type that the client has sent us to do this project. This is page 1, where we talk about this recipe, page 2, which is the ribeye steak recipe, page 3, which is the Maine lobster recipe. So this is how we receive it from the client. Now, we do instruct the client to type the copy in a certain format, but we don't want them hitting tabs and you know, bullet points are okay, but we don't want them to type it in a way that they're used to. We have to kind of instruct them how to type the copy. We're not asking them to find the point size or the leading or any of the formatting things that we're going to do, but we want them to type it in a way that when we get it, we're able to format it quickly and efficiently. Okay, so this is the way that they have typed the copy. And if I zoom in a bit, you can see that they have just listed, they've put no spacing in between, they've just listed the ingredients. Then when it comes to the instructions, you can see that they placed a bullet point and then they just started typing right away. This point, point 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. Okay, and this is the way that we might want them to type in all the copy. Okay, so what we're going to do on our side is, if I back out of this, we're going to end up copying and pasting this into our layout and then formatting it. So let's open up a blank page in InDesign so I can show you, just give you a quick demonstration on how to create this bullet point list. I'm going to go up and open up a new document. Okay, we'll just keep it a 8.5 by 11 single page. Okay, something like that. I'm going to select a text box, my text tool, and just kind of draw an arbitrary text box ready for something to be pasted in. I'm going to go over to my PDF file and I'm going to grab this copy here that says instructions. So I'll click and copy this. In fact, I'll copy the cook's notes too. just for the sake of that. And I will copy this, Command C. I'll come over to my InDesign text box and I'll paste it in. Okay, now this is how it looks when we bring it into InDesign. It's going to come in whatever the default point size is. It's Minion Pro regular 12 point. It's going to look exactly like they typed it in. So if we zoom into this, we can see that there's no spacing, just a bullet point and then the item and so forth. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to set up the format to create this list. And I'm going to take this list and just copy this off and paste it next to it over here so that we could see the difference between, we could see the before and after difference. Okay. So we'll work on this copy here. We'll leave this here so we can compare it after we're done. I'm going to take my text tool, and this is how you create the bullet list. I'm going to highlight all of this copy, and I won't, get on your typography palette here, configuration palette here, which I call, and down here you'll have paragraph, character, paragraph styles, and character styles. I like to put the styles in one group and the, these two in another group. But anyway, it's paragraph, just the paragraph that we're going to pull out. Okay, now that's when we click on paragraph, it basically gives us the same things to change here as if we were over here with paragraph. Okay, so we can see a lot of these things up here in the contextual menu are the same things that you see down here. Same with character. When I click on character, it's like we're looking up here. Okay, so you can either do it up here or you can do it in a dedicated character or paragraph palette here. I'm going to use this. Okay, with this out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with these two right here. This is the left indent and this is the first line left indent. So as I do this, let me zoom in here so that we can see what's going on. Okay, that should be good enough here. Okay, again, I'm going to highlight all of this text. Now, I'm going to increase the left indent and watch what happens to the whole left indent here. Okay, here's the text box that's locked onto this margin, but when I go up 1, 2, you notice how it indented that paragraph by 0.125 of an inch. Okay, now I'm going to come down to the first line indent and I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to do a negative 0.125 by clicking the down arrow, 1, 2. And what that does is it takes the very first line of that paragraph and it slides it over. So this is what we have. We can see now that the second, third, and fourth lines here of this paragraph are all lining up. Okay, now we have to do a few more things to make this work. I'm going to click off of this, and I'm going to come in here between the bullet point and the first line, the first character, and I'm going to hit the Tab key. Okay, and that scoots that first line over so it lines up with the other lines. I'm going to do the same thing between fill, between add, between depending, using kitchen. Okay, now this is different. Okay, all of this is different, so we're not going to mess with this because this doesn't have bullet points down here, but we'll fix this. Okay, now we also want to slide in instructions, and we also want to slide in Cook's notes. Okay, so we'll do that with the Tab key. And we're also going to slide in buy live lobsters. Okay, there. So all of that lines up. We're going to separate this with a space. I'm going to click here and just give it a 1 return so that we have a little bit of space here. Instructions is going to stay where it is. Okay, so we have everything looking right now. So if I look at this and I hit my W key, this is the way we want it to look, not like this. And you can see the difference. This is now organized and this is not. Okay, this is kind of very hard to follow when you're reading these instructions, but this becomes much easier to follow because we have hanging bullet point sections here, and we have all this text lining up. Now, we don't want to have to do that to every single entry, or every single chunk or every single recipe. Just like in the previous assignment, we want to set up a paragraph style. Okay, so once we have this all done with the text tool, I'm going to highlight all of this text, okay, once we fixed it all up with our paragraph. And now I'm going to go to paragraph styles here, and I'm going to make this style, and I'm going to call it bullet list. So I'm going to come over to my paragraph styles, now not paragraph, but paragraph styles. I'm going to click on add a new style. I'm going to double click on that, and I'm going to call this bullet list. Okay, now it should have picked up all of the formatting here that we did. So I'm going to click OK, and we should see bullet list now in our paragraph style. Okay, now in that paragraph style and character style exercise that we did in class, we had to make an individual character style when we have one thing that's different within this. Okay, if one of these words has to be bold and in green or something, we can't do it with the paragraph style because it's going to change everything to bold and green, and we just want that one word, or whatever. In this case, we want instructions and Cook's notes to be in bold. So we're going to have to make a character style of that. So I'm going to highlight the word instructions. I'm going to go up and make it Minion Pro bold. Okay. Now I don't have to do Cook's notes too because I'm going to use that paragraph style. And then I'm going to go over to my character styles, and I'm going to create a character style, not two, sorry, just one. And I'm going to call this bullet point or bullet list heading. Okay, and it's going to pick up that formatting of Minion Pro bold, and I'm going to click OK. And now I have my bullet list heading under character styles. Under paragraph styles, I have my bullet list. Okay. So with character styles made, I can now highlight the Cook's notes and give it the bullet list heading under character styles, and it changes to bold. Okay. So this is all done now. I have two styles, one paragraph and one character style. And now if I bring in another block of text, okay, we're going to use the same text. Now notice first of all how much better this looks than this. Okay, this is the way the client typed it in, and if we just brought it in that way, it would look like this. This is what we did to format it. It looks much nicer. Okay, in fact, these could be in color possibly. And that's another thing we can do. Let's say we wanted this text right here in our character styles. We could just edit it right now. Okay, and I can go to character color, and instead of black, let's say we made it magenta or blue. Okay, and notice how it changes down here because this style was, this Cook's notes was, the style was applied to it. So whatever you do here, it's going to affect everything. Okay, and I'll click OK. So now our headings are blue. Okay, so let's say we brought in another recipe, and we'll just use this for an example. All I would have to do is place it, okay, just copy and paste it in, and then all I would have to do is, what I'll do is I'll take all of this, and I'll go to my paragraph style and apply that bullet list to it, and there it does, okay. Now what I'm going to have to do though is I'm going to have to put my tabs in manually, okay, because since they didn't put tabs in here, we're going to have to put them in. And that's the way you have to get these to all line up, is you have to manually put in tabs. But I've got my, see, this is already done. So I'll come in and I'll hit my tab key. And again, you're going to have to do this one at a time. It doesn't take long to do this, but I'll just tab and do that. And I'll just highlight this Cook's Notes and buy live. Okay, so this is all done. I'll give it a space here. And now I'll get out my character styles and I'll highlight my instructions and give it my bullet list heading, which will be blue, Cook's Notes, which will be blue, and I'm done. And I formatted this exactly the same way using styles. So once you set this up, you're going to go back to your cookbook and you're going to apply that style to this right here. Okay, it's going to be a different point size and a different typeface, but basically you're going to do the same thing in terms of creating this. And I'll go over that in the complete video where I show you how to create one of these pages. So that's how you create character styles and paragraph styles and a bulleted list, which we're going to do. So you're going to find out that you have recipes for the chicken marsala here, instructions, a bulleted list here. You're going to have a bulleted list for the ribeye steak, and you're also going to have a bulleted list for the Maine lobster. So again, that paragraph and character styles are going to come in handy in this. All right, so with that, that's the end of this video, and then I'm going to make another video for the complete construction of one of the spreads. I'm only going to do one of the spreads because once I do one, you'll know how to do the others. And then also a third video I'll create that describes how to fold up, print out the document, and then fold it up and staple it and get it ready for submission. Okay, so that's all, and I'll see you in the next video.